Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of Armstrong School District Board of Directors for Monday, June 17th, 2019. Won't you please rise with me for a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And now the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Burdell. Ms. Bowser.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Elkin.
Here.
Dr. Lobby.
Here.
Mr. Mulroy.
Here.
Mr. Scaife.
Here.
Mr. Schaefer.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
The Board of School Directors of Armstrong School District convened an executive session on Monday, June 17th at 6:45 p.m. in the Faculty Lounge of West Hills Intermediate School in Catani for discussion of personnel, real estate, safety, and security.
Thank you. Administrative reports?
We just have one report this evening. Mr. Rumpel is going to give an end-of-the-year athletic report.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about the Armstrong Athletic Program. I'd like to start off by thanking the board and central administration for your support. And this was definitely evident this year when I brought to you 3 startup new programs and you were gracious enough to approve them. I'm happy to say all 3 programs were a success. Rifle team was in the winner. We had 23 students on that team. Junior high softball, we had 18. And in junior high baseball, we had 29, which is quite a number, to say the least. So by saying that, we gave 70 kids an opportunity to participate in a sport which they never would have before. So definitely all 3 sports, I would like to recommend to continue having them as well, because definitely the interest is there. I could talk for a long time, and I promise you I won't, about Armstrong Athletics, because I think we really have a good thing going. Let's start off with West Shamokin's athletic program. They're doing extremely well. I had the pleasure of actually seeing a couple of their baseball playoff games and their volleyball state playoff game. We were able to get that actually at Armstrong High School, like we did with basketball a couple of years ago. They had a district title and a district runner-up in District 6, so definitely the move to the Heritage has definitely been an outstanding move for them, and they're just doing a great job over there. Their record, I was just looking at this, their record for the 3 varsity sports in the spring was 38-10. So I said we're really proud of their efforts, and Ray and his coaches are doing an outstanding job over there. The Armstrong Athletic Program is also doing very well. Most of our teams are very competitive against the 5A level at the WIPIAL. A lot of good competition there. And our teams generally hold their own, to say the least. We had 186 kids participate in varsity sports in the spring alone. That's just a number I'm throwing out at you. And I think that's very impressive. The track program alone had 100 girls and boys. And the reason why I attribute that to is the new facilities. Before, when we were going off campus, and now the facilities are just outstanding. And I know one time I was with Mr. Kirk up there and we had everything going on at once. It's quite impressive when you have a baseball, softball, and a track meet going on at the same time. So it's outstanding. I can't even, words don't begin to describe how happy I am to have everything on campus there. The only thing, I came to you earlier in the year, we do have a program that's struggling, and it's boys tennis. It was on probation this past year. There just isn't the interest in it. There's just no participation. And actually, I actually got actively involved to try to help them recruit even with this, because I love tennis, and you hate to see any program falter. But also, you don't want to have to beg kids to keep a program going. So this year we had we had 7 kids on the roster, which is the minimum according to our policy. However, we only average 4 kids per practice and match. And 4 out of 8 of our matches, we didn't have the 7 kids, which is a full lineup. So that'd be like going to a football game with 9 or 10, or a baseball game with 7 or 8. That's what you would compare that to. So that's the reason why I'm going to recommend. And I think what's happening is our boys volleyball team, I gave you the report for the spring, their numbers were high. Also baseball is always high, and also track now. And there's really only so many kids to go around. So the recommendation would be to basically dissolve the boys tennis program, because it's just generally lack of interest. It's not blaming anyone or anything like that. It's just a lack of interest. And as I said before, you never see kids playing tennis like you did 20, 30 years ago. That was very popular for kids to partake in. You just never see that anytime, kids playing on their own. So, looking ahead, we plan on to continue meeting regularly as an athletic committee. We come out with a lot of good ideas. Wes Shamokin, principal and AD, myself and my ADs, and Mr. Kirk and Mr. McCullough join us quite often. And I think we really come up with some good ideas that move them forward and improve our program. So we're going to continue to do that. Also emphasize off-season programs to the coaches. We're very fortunate. Our coaches put in countless hours for that. And that's pretty much the expectation that we have. Not just the season, but the extra time as well. And that goes into the weight room training. And I know we've come a long way in 4 years at Armstrong, and eventually I'd like to see that also at West Shamokin. We right now have 11 varsity programs doing some type of weight training in our school, which is fantastic. Some are really advanced, others are just getting started, but that's okay. They're utilizing the facility. And we're also looking to improve AHS's facilities. Junior high soccer field, we used to play up here at West Hills. We're moving that now to that, so all our sports except rifle and golf will be on our facility now, which flags the Armstrong School District banner. Of course, hockey and bowling as well. So everything's going to be there. We're also looking at additional practice field, right where you pull into our property, right to the right before the baseball field. We're going to have some land moving. We've been working with Rosebud, and they've been generous to us, and they've agreed to actually do the work for us. So that's just fantastic on their part. So hopefully we'll have that. We'll have some heavy equipment in there very shortly with that. We'll continue to set high expectations for our program. That starts with me, and it trickles down to our ADs, coaches, and student athletes. We can't be complacent, and we expect a lot, and I think it shows. And right now, I'm very proud of where our programs are at. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. We're always looking for ways to get better with that, but I think the future is very bright for Armstrong Athletics, Armstrong School District Athletics. Anyone have any questions?
Your new junior high sports.
Yes, sir.
How did they do? The baseball, softball team, break even? How many they play?
Softball team was 8-4. Outstanding team. The future's very bright. The baseball was 3-9. We had to put that schedule, as you know, very quick. So we're playing a lot of teams with freshmen. Also, 29 kids. Our coaches did a great job getting all the kids in as well at the junior high. So I was very pleased with the games I saw. I thought they were very competitive, but their record was 3-9.
Thank you.
Very happy and surprised, actually, with the turnout. 29. It's probably too many, but the first year, we obviously don't want to cut junior high level the first year. So.
Mr. Rummel, you come in one budget?
No, and I'm
Okay.
going to explain to you why. We were 5,800 approximately. We don't have the busing costs in yet, and I said 5,000. What we did was, this year we're going to give the uniforms to the kids, let them take it home.
Yeah.
After we looked at that, it wasn't a good option at all. So what we did is we bought uniforms for the kids, so it was 1,700 instead of 800, but we plan on getting 4 seasons out of it. So that way it'll save the district money in the long run.
Okay.
Any other questions, board members?
So there will not be any need for the athletic facility in Ford City? I mean, we don't have any.
We don't use it for anything, Dr. Lobby,
Okay.
right now.
Anything else? Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Rummel.
Appreciate it.
Any other administrative reports?
Not this evening, no.
Any reports from Aaron or Lenape Votech?
Nothing, just a meeting Thursday, you're welcome to come.
You guys are doing a fantastic job being our representatives, so I trust you to continue. Who is our Aaron board rep at the state? Okay. Do we have any public comments on agenda items at this time? Okay, we'll go to the minutes. We'll look for a motion and a second to combine and approve the minutes for the open caucus session for May 9th as well as the regular meeting for May 13th. Do I have a motion to combine and approve?
So moved.
Mr. Mulroy?
Second.
Dr. Lobby? Any discussion from board members? Roll call.
Mr. Schaefer?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Mr. Schaefer?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Mulroy?
Yes.
Mr. Skate?
Yes.
Number voting yes, 8. Number voting no, 0. 1 absent. Motion carries.
I'm going to ask for a motion and a second to combine and approve food service fund for May, the athletic fund for April, and the presentation of bills for payment for May. Do I have a motion to combine and approve? Mr. Elkin, do I have a second? Mr. Mulroy. Any discussion for board members? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, yes,
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Mulroy?
Yes.
Mr. Skate?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Number voting yes, 8. Number voting no, 0. 1 absent. Motion carries.
I will look for a motion to combine and approve personnel 1 through personnel 26, except any of those indicated to be for information only. Do I have a motion to combine and approve? Mr. Schaefer, second. Mr. Elkin, roll call.
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes to all but personnel 16. That would be a no.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Mulroy?
Yes to everything but personnel 8, abstention.
Mr. Skate?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
no on personnel 10, no on personnel 16, yes on the rest, please.
Personnel 8, we had 1 abstention on it. Personnel 10, number voting yes, 7. Number voting no, 1. 1 absent. Motion carries. Personnel 16, number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 2. 1 absent. Motion carries. The remainder, number voting yes, 8. Number voting no, 0. 1 absent. Motion carries.
Education, there are 5 items. We heard reports from the administration on a number of these on Thursday, so I'll look for a motion to combine and approve Ed 1 through Ed 5. Do I have a motion? Dr. Lobby, do I have a second? Mr. Elkin? Board members, any questions on any of those items that were covered by the administration? Anything further from the administration than what we heard on Thursday? Okay. Roll call?
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Mulroy?
Yes.
Mr. Skate?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Number voting yes, 8. Number voting no, 0. 1 absent. Motion carries.
Likewise, we heard a number of reports on Thursday under business. I'll combine and approve business 1 through 12. I'll leave business 13 as a separate vote. So do I have a motion to combine and approve business 1 through business 12? Mr. Mulroy, do I have a second? Ms. Bowser? Does anybody have any questions for administration on any of those items, business 1 through 12? Roll call.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Mulroy?
Yes.
Mr. Skate?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
No on business 11, yes on the other ones, please.
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Biz 11, number voting yes 7, number voting no 1, 1 absent, motion carries. The remainder, number voting yes 8, number voting no 0, 1 absent, motion carries.
Business 13 is the adoption of the 2019-20 budget for Armstrong School District. Do I have a motion to approve? Dr. Lobby, do I have a second? Mr. Elkin? Questions from board members and/or comments or more information from administration?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. The process is, a lot of information has been flowing back and forth between board and administration. There is an open session specifically focused on budget development, where board members were able to express opinions and thoughts. I thought it was a good process again this year. The administration has brought forth a budget that, well, we'll see how the vote goes, but I think for the most part, we're very pleased. It's a large district. There are a lot of expenses. We've always tried to focus on cutting those expenses because we know that, I've always said this, but we're not making a product to raise money. Our product is the taxpayers, and the way we generate revenue a lot of ways is to raise taxes, and we just do not want to do that. So I think the administration has been really good about making cuts where necessary and continue to look where to cut things, and much appreciated. Any other comments from board members?
Just thank Mr. Kirk and his staff. They did I know they did a lot of work. They did a lot of work for me. And it is, it is a tough budget, and especially, but you don't really know until October, when the audit comes out. That's when everything really just kind of comes more, and then we'll pat you on the back. So.
Yeah, we'll know with the next month or so how we're going to finish the year. We won't know exactly, again, like Mr. Smith said, till October. But it's going to be tight. I mean, I think I told you, this fiscal year we're currently working in, we're at times always working on 3. We're closing one out, we're starting a new one, and we're bidding another one in October. So those months between July and October, there's 3 different fiscal years that we're working on at one time. So, and it is big. I mean, 1% being under budget's $1 million. So things are getting tighter, but I think it's because we've gotten a better handle on what we're spending on. But our staff, though, and our students, our staff and principals are spending the money they're allotted. I mean, in the past, they weren't allowed to. We've gotten a little better financial position, so we're permitting them now. We're not shutting things off as quickly. We're permitting them to buy things and exhaust their budgets. So it's been a good process.
Yeah. Well, we can't hurt. I mean, we don't want education to suffer, and you can hold off on textbooks and software only so long, and you have to do what's right for the students and the taxpayers paying that. So yeah, hearing no other comments.
I have one.
Yeah.
When do you shut off the purchasing by the school principals?
We tell them March, but if it's an emergency or something they still need.
Yeah, because if you don't have it by March, you're probably not going to get it in for that school year.
If it's for that year, right.
Yeah.
But if it's something that comes up, that pops
Emergency,
up,
that's fine.
right.
Yeah, we've done it as early as January.
Yeah,
This year was in.
It was March this year.
Beginning of April.
yeah. Yeah, generally they should have what they need.
You would think so.
And if they need something, they defend their position, we allow them to get it.
And one thing we did this year, there was some funding left over in some of the buildings. So we purchased some technology dishes that would have otherwise been dragged on to the following year. It was able to cut us back this year on some things because we knew there were some funds left over. So we do that at times as well.
That's
If we know there's money's left in this year, we could do it. It's just less we have to budget in years coming up. We do a good job with that. And even we talked about some things that federal programs buy that's been saving us a lot on technology as well as security. So we're being creative on ways we're using different funds that are available to us.
No, you guys are doing a good job.
Seems like you're taking advantage of grant situations too. I mean, there's a lot of money out there that can do a lot of good for our district, and it seems like you're being aggressive about that, and that certainly has helped as well.
Since we're close to the end of the fiscal year, do you have an idea what our fund balance is going to be?
I think we're going to come very close to spending the whole 99.8. And if I was to guess, it will come very close to bringing 99 plus coming in revenue. We're supposed to bring in 98. We're supposed to be like $1.5 million short. I'm thinking, and I don't want to be quoted. I mean, I know you're going to quote me on this, but I think we're going to use somewhere between it would be anywhere but us using $500,000 or putting a little bit of $500,000 in, somewhere in that $1 million frame. So it could be down to 10.7, or it could go up to about 11.5, 11.6. Now, again, that's 1%. It's where we've come the last couple of years.
Okay.
We had some expenses here. Remember, mold was $225,000 we didn't anticipate. There's another $100-some thousand you guys authorized us to take from the general fund to put in to pay for some of the construction projects that we did not have enough monies for some of those things that we did. So there was another $100,000 that was not budgeted. So there was over $350,000 we used in what some of the padding that we do in our budgets. The budget reserve alone is $200,000, so we exhausted that. So it will be close to spending the full amount this year.
That's a question that he'll get tired of addressing from now until the beginning of school.
And I look at it, to be honest with you, I look at it daily. And, you know, I know you guys are concerned. I get concerned about it. But once we start using fund balance, even the auditors say that was number one concern of a lot of small districts and things that happen to them. They start using fund balance, and that's one thing that the auditors frown upon is using that. And 10% that we're at, they feel that that's a good balance to have. They don't recommend going lower than that. Because again, you know, percent of it's $1 million.
Right, well, and, I mean, it's one of the reasons to have a fund balance is for when your physical plan, something unexpected happens. And we've reinvested into the facilities all across the district for so long that we're hoping also that investment pays off, that
It will generate somewhere between $450,000 and $480,000 in interest income this year, which is almost $1 million of taxes. And the way we're able to do that, because we have money in savings, and we're able to invest that and get those. You know, when I first got here, interest rates were horrendous. We only had $6 million in the bank. We earned $38,000. This year, we're going to be between $450,000 and $480,000, just in interest return. In interest return. Again, that's so we had, I think, $200,000 budget this year. I moved up over $400,000 for next year. But now there's talks that the Fed's going to do reverse on their rates and start lowering things. So when we get some of this money that comes in early with taxes, I might do a little different philosophy and do a little bit more long term to lock in some of these rates before the Fed decreases things.
But as those go down,
It'll be advantageous for us for our potential refunding.
Yeah.
So.
Any other comments?
And again, I welcome questions. I know Mr. Smith, he questions every month on some of the bills and things like that, and things he doesn't maybe quite understand. We sat down with him for 2 hours and 15 minutes the other day, and a whole gamut of administrators came in and talked to him about the questions that he had. And I'm hoping it was educational. It was educational for some of us when you're talking about some of the charter schools, cyber schools, where we're sending kids all over, the magnitude of the cost, the amount of transportation for these students. There's a lot of things out there that the public doesn't understand that those are things we're mandated to do, and it's very costly. So we welcome that at any time.
I hesitate to recommend it, though.
Head was spinning, wasn't it?
Any other comments? Roll call.
Dr. Lobby,
Yes.
Mr. Mulroy,
Yes.
Mr. Skabe,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Bowser,
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey,
Yes.
Mr. Elkin.
Yes.
Number voting yes, 8. Number voting no, 0. 1 absent. Motion carries.
3 items under maintenance. Look for a motion to combine and approve M1 through M3. Mr. Elkin, second by Mr. Mulroy. Questions or comments from board members? Roll call.
Mr. Mulroy,
Yes.
Mr. Skabe,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Bowser,
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey,
Yes.
Mr. Elkin,
Yes.
Dr. Lobby.
Yes.
Number voting yes, 8. Number voting no, 0. 1 absent. Motion carries.
Student transportation services, 1 item to approve. It's bus drivers for 1819. Do I have a motion to approve? Mr. Mulroy, do I have a second? Mr. Schaefer? Comments or questions from board members? Roll call.
Mr. Skabe,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Bowser,
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey,
Yes.
Mr. Elkin,
Yes.
Dr. Lobby,
Yes.
Mr. Mulroy.
Yes.
Number voting yes, 8. Number voting no, 0. 1 absent. Motion carries.
2 policies that were reviewed last week from our solicitor. Would like to look for a motion and a second to combine and approve policy 1 and policy 2. Ms. Bowser, seconded by Mr. Scaife. Any questions or comments from board members? Roll call.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Mulroy?
Yes.
Mr. Skate?
Yes.
Number voting yes, 8. Number voting no, 0. 1 absent. Motion carries.
2 items under general, approval of the co-op sponsorship with Leechburg Area Wrestling, and Gen 2, approval of revision of co-op sponsorships for sports. Do I have a motion and a second to combine and approve Gen 1 and Gen 2? Mr. Schaefer, seconded. Ms. Bowser, questions or comments from board members? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Mulroy?
Yes.
Mr. Skate?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Number voting yes, 8. Number voting no, 0. 1 absent. Motion carries.
Anything under other from board members? Anything else administration needs to add? Do I have a motion and a second to adjourn? Do I have a motion? Dr. Lobby, do I have a second? Mr. Mulroy, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.